Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. And now to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, season 4, episode 31, titled Fitzy's Big Week. Is he done yet? I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Scotty of SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Also with new graphics. We've got new graphics on this podcast.
Fancy.
Yeah, I figured since the Devils are spending money and getting fancy with their free agency, I figured we spruce it up a little bit with a little bit of ice.
I like how you segue that. Yeah. Very nice.
For all those listeners listening in on the non-live podcast version, the audio version, in their cars right now, which would be actually about six to 8 hours from now, as we're live on Facebook and Twitter and all that. You can see our video feed that we've got new graphics. I figured we upgrade just like the Devils.
Oh, they did some upgrading.
A great week? He had a great week.
Oh, everybody feels a lot better now all of a sudden, huh? Everyone feeling a little different this weekend? Everybody a little bit happy there? Baby's not no crying no more? Oh, okay, all right, I see. No, Fitzy made some great moves. He made some great moves, something that I don't think any of us really dreamed of. I know we've talked about it at length here on our Let's Go Devils podcast forum, but for myself, really just getting to react to it. I mean, what a move. And I think the most important thing here is to remember one thing, Sam Wu. Okay. I'm going to ask you a question now. Let's see if you answer correctly or incorrectly. Okay. And this is for everyone too. Everyone play along at home. Okay. All right, play along. You can respond with your answer on Facebook and YouTube and everything else on Twitter. Okay. Is the rebuild for the New Jersey Devils done? Sam Wu?
I'm going to answer that. I think it's progressing in the right direction, but it's far from being done.
Sam Wu, you are a wise man. You are a wise man. You have chosen wisely, Sam Wu.
Oh.
The rebuild is not done. And I've been seeing a lot of little reports and little posts and, this is the end of the rebuild. No. Remember the email that everybody was huff and puff about like a couple weeks ago? What did that say? We're building something the right way. AKA, remember what happened when Taylor Hall came in and everyone got real excited and all of a sudden we wanted to abandon all of our plans and just blah, 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 blah. We're not going to do the same thing with Dougie, and Dougie's on board with it, which is really cool. Cool.
Very cool.
Because he sees the bigger picture that in like 2 years from now, this team is going to be a beast. All right. And putting him on that blue line, Sam, you talked about it last week when you were just running down with adding, imagine if we got Dougie and then he's on the top line and then Ryan Graves is now on the second pairing. And
Do I sound like that? Do I really sound like that on air? Oh, okay.
No, not really.
Sound worse.
But no, you sound infinitely better, buddy. But remember when you were saying that when we were just imagining like, wow, that's a pretty PK is now down on your third pairing. Like, wow, that's a pretty impressive looking, defensive lineup. That's our reality now. That's our reality. And we still, now with Ryan Graves and with Dougie Hamilton, we still have all those prospects on board as well because Fitzy didn't have to sell the entire team to get all these. Like it's a lot of smart moves and we're not done yet. Yeah, I know there's a lot of rumors about Tarasenko and stuff like that. We're going to see what happens. I think we hold pat because, he has made it clear that he kind of wants out of St. Louis. So that kind of forces St. Louis's hand. We put our cards on the table. I wouldn't say go any more demands if St. Louis, we've heard about that, like trade talks breaking down and blah, 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 blah. All rumors, of course. Nothing official. I don't believe the stuff that I saw. It was all like, we've heard reports. I'm saying if we made an offer, if we put our thing, that's it. It's done. If Tarasenko wants out, he's going to force a deal one way or another. If our deal's a good deal, the Blues will take it at some point. Wait, and then you got that's like a 2-year, contract if that's what they really look at. We'll see. We're getting ahead of ourselves here, but the rebuild is not over. All right, it's got to continue. It's got to continue.
I have to. I have mixed feelings about Tarasenko. I kind of want to take advantage.
I was just talking about like reports and stuff we've seen. Just as an example. Yeah.
But I'm not really referring to you. I'm referring to a lot of fans on social media talking about it. And I want to join in on the conversation about Tarasenko. It has to be at the right price because I think I saw somewhere in Facebook Live or I forgot where I was reading it just now.
We can use our boy Michael. He always wants Lane, so we can use him instead if it makes everyone feel better. Same thing.
Yeah. That the Rangers may get him and line him up with Panarin. So what? Because I'll tell you the reason why I say so what. If this defense is big bad as they say they are, or at least on paper, doesn't matter what you throw at Mackenzie Blackwood. I mean, that's the beauty. The beauty of having a big goaltender, young goaltender, with Jonathan Bernier.
Which we have to talk about as well.
Yeah, we will get to that. We talk, I joke around about the NFZ, but right now, physically speaking, there's not much room to look at the net if the Devils and Nazardine and Lindy Ruff can get them to play within the system and play their positions. You know what? So what? Let them burn their cap space. Let them do what they need to do. Now, if Fitzgerald, sends over a couple draft picks, in the mid round and some money and a decent player, okay, that's not bad. But from what I see, it seems like St. Louis is asking for the world, and I don't think they even have the leverage right now. I really don't. The guy wants out. The guy wants out.
Yeah, he wants out. So just stand pat with whatever we got. Our offer is probably pretty good considering our system and stuff like that, unless it is just straight draft picks. But either way, we got a lot of cap space, so we could probably take all of that money, either that or, if they do want to poach one person, one prospect that we have, maybe, but we'll see. Other than that, I wouldn't do anything, though. If that's the offer, great. You don't want it? See ya. We don't need Tarasenko. Yeah, it'd be nice, but it's not like we need him next year to win the Stanley Cup type of deal. Next year is still going to be a growth year. It would be nice, though, to score some goals, to win some games and grow in that sense, and also give probably Nico, a real, kind of like goal scorer there to feed the puck to. Someone who is, obviously established, but there's a lot of, injury worries there and stuff like that. But again, it's only 2 years, so it's not really a big deal. And if we lose PK, I don't know. I have this feeling we're not going to trade him now. I think we'll flip him at the trade deadline. But as soon as, after this year, that's $9 million back off of our cap, we have so much room and so much availability to play with. It's
an option.
Awesome. Yeah, it leaves us with
options.
Yes.
And
yes.
And you got to credit Fitzgerald here, because after what happened with Ray Shero, that didn't end well. Interim tag was on Fitzgerald. He basically lost his mentor and one of his best friends, Ray Shero, when they parted ways. And then the Harris Fitzgerald presser at 5 p.m. right before a game about what happened. He's come a long way, and he's probably waiting for this moment in free agency pretty much his entire, professional executive career in the NHL.
Mm-hmm. And
not only did the way the Dougie Hamilton thing went down, it was like, he's somebody put out a tweet that he bought a summer home in Jersey Shore, and then he's leaving on a private jet.
That was Beer Baron. Beer Baron's texted us, said like, hey guys, there's a private jet that flew from North Carolina to Jersey. I'm like, get out of town. You're telling me there's a plane today that flew from North Carolina to New Jersey? Are you crazy? What are the odds that there's a plane that flew that route today? I can imagine there's never flights from North Carolina to New Jersey,
Well, and then, of course, I joked around in that group text, remember? I was like, well, Beer Baron, he could be going up north. Hopefully he doesn't go northeast or further east to lose Islanders.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can land in Teterboro and get either three teams,
He skips over Newark and goes right over to LaGuardia over there. That's not what we were looking for.
Yeah, hopefully the plane let out some fuel over Philadelphia on the way. Anyway, so I'm already trash talking, right? Already trash talking. I'm seeing all the YouTube live comments. I'm seeing the Facebook live comments and even Twitter tweets and all that kind of stuff. We'll get to that sec, but we're still talking about Fitzy's big week.
It's an interesting point, Sam Wu. And I will say this because I thought of it after I read an article by this guy. I've never read from him before. His name is Siam. Whoa. Is CM Woe, I think his name is.
Oh, he's on pucksandpitchforks.com. That guy?
Yeah. Yeah, and he was talking about like a connection between, Adam Larson, being traded and all like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, whatever it
I
is,
forget.
from Adam Larson, and that trade and all the ping pong effects afterwards. But it made me think of an interesting perspective is, Fitzy came in. When do you know the exact year Fitzy came in? He came in
2015.
with Ray.
2015.
So he
was poached from Pittsburgh, I believe.
Did he have was that the last year with Lou? Or was that the year?
Yes. Lou was still I think the GM tag was
the GM, but he didn't have the president. Right?
He had the presidency.
Is that what it was?
But he had Lou had the presidency, but didn't have the GM tag. It was Ray Sherrill.
Well, my point is like he did, even though it was only for a short amount of time, he still got like time with Lou, time with Ray. Fitzy seems to me like a very bright guy. And even if he only had a year to work with someone like that, I think he would have picked up and absorbed a lot of stuff from, and I see almost kind of like both of them in him with these like really clever moves, but I see both styles in there, like almost a Ray and Lou hybrid over here, so I thought that was an interesting perspective. And whoever that writer is, I mean, he's amazing. They should give that guy a raise.
Yeah, but that guy, his sources stinked. His sources stinks. He's terrible. I mean, Sheldon Sorey.
Or him and whoever his brother is. I don't know. His brother is, I don't know. I heard something about that. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that guy's a loser himself.
Nick Merkley's brother. I heard Nick Merkley's brother is a real dirtbag, that guy.
Oh, yeah. Hey, let's address this. There's no, finger pointing or whatever. But
I'm pointing the finger at myself.
Yeah,
I mixed it up. Sorry.
And it's an honest mistake. But you know what? That tells you how tough it is. On the Woo Report, I just looked at the group text, and Sky said, "Oh, he's reunited with his brother." I was like, "Oh, right. There is a Merkley."
It's his older brother, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yep. And all that. So, and of course, I blurted it out loud. But you, the fans, in Facebook Live, YouTube Live, corrected. See, this is the great thing about the Let's Go Devils podcast.
That was me, by the way. I texted that to Sam Wu. So I was the one who got it screwed up. I am the unreliable source over here.
But this is the great thing about the Let's Go Devils podcast. When we're wrong, our fans let us know, and we correct it. And it's like, oh, I learned something. They're not related. It would have been cool that they're related. And I learned
they look a lot alike.
Yeah.
That unibrow.
Yeah, you know what? After you showed me the picture of Nick Merkley and Ryan Merkley of the Sharks, I was like, I could have made that mistake. They look They look like they're you never know. They could be, you never know if they're biological brothers, that DNA stuff. The ancestry DNA reveals a lot of secrets. You never know.
Maybe they were cousins or something.
Yeah,
but Nick does have an older brother who was a Jay, I think, who was drafted by was he drafted by the Hurricanes? I
think it's the Hurricanes or something like that.
Something like that. So that was all me, not Sam Wu. I just want everyone to know that. All right.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you.
No problem, buddy. I got your back.
Yeah, I was just upset.
I screw up all the time, so I'm used to it. It's totally fine.
But see, here's the one thing. I think Beer Baron in the group text was joking around
he does
about something.
He's the one who does screw up all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, he was joking around, and sometimes when you're on air and you take it seriously, like what happened to that guy? But anyway, let's not talk about that. So Jonathan Bernier, moving on. Jonathan Bernier. I guess he was negotiating.
Great signing.
He was negotiating with Carolina, I believe. Was it Carolina? I forgot which team he was negotiating with.
Had to be because they lost. What's his name?
They lost everybody.
They did. Ooh, that team is going to look a lot different next year.
And they brought in that former New York Ranger as a replacement, and I was kind of like, "You took a chance on that guy. Good luck. Good luck."
Who did they bring in? Oh, Auntie. Was it
D'Angelo?
D'Angelo. Oh, right. Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Too, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, D'Angelo.
I was a little surprised. I was like, and that's. I think I don't know. Maybe they have a spending issue.
That's not a replacement for Dougie Hamilton. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Best of luck. Best of luck to you. Bless their heart down there in Carolina. Bless their heart. They got good. What is it? Pulled pork with the vinegar barbecue sauce that they make down there.
Yes.
My sister lives in North Carolina now, and she
does?
makes us. Yeah, she learned how to make that pulled pork with the vinegar style barbecue. That's all. I think it's more South Carolina. No, I guess it's North Carolina too.
Yes.
Are they in North? Yeah, the Hurricanes are in North, right? They're in Raleigh.
Yeah, Raleigh. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is also known as Jersey South.
Jersey South.
I
think that's actually Charlotte as well. I have a lot of friends who have moved from Jersey. Anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Jonathan Bernier.
Bernier is a great pickup. That's exactly what we've been talking about with a veteran goalie. 2 years. It's only 2 years again. I've already seen some people like, that's a high price tag. It's okay. It's only 2 years. And let's face it, the Detroit Red Wings last year, barring the Buffalo Sabres, and us, I don't know if there were many worse, but we were definitely a little bit better than the old Red Wings. So they were worse than us. And Bernier had a pretty good season over there, with less help than what Mackenzie Blackwood and Wedgwood got this season. So I'm really excited to have him in the mix now, putting Dougie Hamilton and Ryan Graves in front of him as well, with some of our young defenders, with Ty Smith, Kevin Ball, Damon Severson still being there. We'll see what they're going to do with Ryan Murray. I don't know if they'll bring him back now, with Dougie in the mix, but if PK goes, then I would expect Murray to re-sign. But, the Riley Walsh, the Nikita Ahoyuk, who's the other one? Muhammad Doolin.
Don't forget him.
Is it what's this guy's name? Like Lukey something like that, right? Luke Hughes something. What is his name? Sam, what's his name? Hugs.
Lucky Hugs.
It's a Luke Huggies. Who's this Luke Huggies guy? Have you heard about him?
He's got a crazy brother. and another one that's and then the other one's a little jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Said so himself.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I just want to look right now real quick. And by the way, something else. Something is just, I just want to look here at our, we were just talking about it, but, Riley Walsh, Michael, Vukojevic, who we had, Kevin Ball, Nikita Ahoyuk. I don't know who Robbie Russo, who's that? Is that someone we just signed? Don't forget about Nico Dawes, and the other kid that we just drafted in goal as well. But on the on the offensive side, Alexander Holst, Tice Thompson, Dawson Mercer. We lost. There's Nolan Foote waiting in the wings right there. Graham Clark, Arnie Talavidi. We'll see what happens with Nathan Shar. I don't, some of these others, Fabian Zetterlund, we'll see what happens with them. I don't think, Chase DeLeo or any of the other signings. Those other recent signings, I think, are all depth for the AHL to provide leadership for our young prospects coming up. That's a lot to look forward to.
Well, I forgot about Shar. I forgot about Shar from the Taylor Hall deal.
That's also from the Taylor Hall deal.
To Taylor Hall, he went from Adam Larson to Taylor Hall to Kevin Ball. Shar, and then Christian Jaros, which was a pick, which was the Coyotes pick, I believe, and then the other pick was got Siegenthaler. Just a whole. I love seeing like the tree, from a trade, and just what it just wound for 4th overall pick in 2011. You get that many bodies back, big guys on defense, and you signed another 2011 draftee, Dougie Hamilton. It's like, wow, one person made a huge difference. Because at the time, if you remember, Adam Larson, there were a couple scouts that were saying that he may be the next Nicholas Lidstrom, and that's a big name, and that's a lot of hype. But I remember seeing Dougie Hamilton in that draft. I'm like, yeah, but this guy's got a lot of raw potential and upside. The size and speed and just he put some muscle, on that body, and it's just amazing how things turn out when you look at a draft. That's why these draft picks are also valuable. You just don't know who you may pick in the draft, and I'm saying that because that whole Tarasenko thing, you don't mortgage the future. You got to keep some of these picks, especially the first rounders.
And especially since he wants out. It's not something we need. Yes, it'll be cool to have Tarasenko for 2 years and throw him on the wing with Nico so we don't have to rush Holtz or Mercer or anyone else, but we don't need it. Probably sign someone else maybe for a year or something like that. Or just roll with what we have for right now. There's no need to rush it, to force it. We don't need to do that. And also, just real quick, we were just rolling through those defensive names there. Riley Walsh, Vukojevic, Ball, Hoyt-Uk. Where do we have room for those guys? Now we got Hamilton, Subban, Severson, Graves, Siegenthaler, Smith, and Jaros. All of a sudden, you're starting to have good problems to have. That's when we can casually move PK when the price is right. And then maybe you have a Walsh and a Ball sitting there just waiting in the wings to take that spot.
I love about having Dougie Hamilton, and again, I don't want to hype it too much, but if he's paired up with Ty Smith, the risks that Ty Smith can do, knowing that you got your number one defenseman back there to back you up, where you can take that risk and take the puck deep, and feed it to anybody crashing the net. And you have to crash the net. I mean, it's nice that Ty Smith, can do that, and Dougie Hamilton's back there to back him up. But, it just makes everything so lethal. And look, PK can just be PK on the third pairing right now. And you can probably get a lot of value out of him because he doesn't have to do so much. Yes, the $9 million is a lot, but I don't think he'll ever live up to the amount of his contract at this point of his career. But really, who cares? Who cares? We have the space. We have the space. Who cares? It just gets us to the floor.
We have $21.2 million in cap space right now. When PK comes off, we're back over $30 million in cap space. And I know we still have to sign some people, and that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. All right. But, PK playing on that third, pairing with Siegenthaler or Jaros, I'm assuming if we're doing this in Sam Wu, terms, Hamilton is going to have to play with Severson to stop the amount of times that Damon Severson, scores on us, our self goals, that's really the reason.
Let me tell you something. Our defense our defense is so big right now that even if you have another butt puck incident, guys are so big, it's going to hit somebody else. It's just not going to go in the net this time.
Even Damon Severson can't score on us right now. That's how big we are. But he's going to look, I think Severson will also look really nice, either on that, first or second pairing, especially with Dougie. If he's on that first pairing, he won't be relied on to be the man. I don't know if that suits Damon Severson very well. I know he tried, he stepped up. I saw him try to be a leader and take those steps and everything like that. I just, sometimes guys just aren't like that, I think Dougie is, more ready to take the reins that way. I think Ryan Graves is as well. So I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off of Damon Severson, where he doesn't have to, because it kind of was. It was like, are we going to trade Severson or are we going to trade Larson? And they did. They said, hey, we're believing in Damon Severson here. Because he was He was 18 years old when he was on the ice. Right? Was he an 18-year-old rookie or 19-year-old rookie? He was like out there really, really young. And it was like, okay, which one are we sticking with? And obviously, they shipped Larson out for Taylor Hall. And we've been in the Damon Severson business the last, 7 years or whatever it is. Yeah. So taking that pressure off of him, I think is going to work wonders for him. And especially if he can rely on either someone like Dougie to go and be the star, so Damon Severson can kind of hang back, or B, Ryan Graves, someone is going to have you covered no matter what, so you can get a little bit more, free. Personally, I kind of rather see Ty with Ryan, but Ty with Dougie would be Ty with anybody really works. I mean, he's the magic man out there in my mind. That kid is just he just reminds me of like Duncan Keith for some reason. Back in the day in Chicago, just being able to play with anybody, any situation, all times, like not overbearing, power, 6 foot, 7, the way like what's Dougie? He's like what, 6'6"?
Yes, I think
right.
He's
a monster.
220
yeah,
something.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
But anyway, seeing Ty out there with either or, I think is going to be amazing. And same thing with Damon Severson, just being able to take that pressure off of him. Like, hey man, you don't have to be the man. Just go out there and play. We have 2 other guys here that are ready to play those roles. They've been there. You can share in the leadership as well, like, hey, but if you're not comfortable with that, that's not your favorite thing to do. No problem. Yeah.
And Will Butcher shipped out to Buffalo, along with the 5th rounder 2022 draft, basically a salary dump for future considerations.
Did we ever hear what those considerations were?
Buffalo
so,
Wings
right?
at Buffalo Wings at Prudential Center. It's the only thing that they can offer right now.
I'm gonna petition for Buffalo's own Every Time I Die forced to play a concert for us in New Jersey wearing Devils sweaters, because they're all huge. If you don't know, they're all huge Buffalo Sabres fans.
Oh, didn't know that.
Oh, ginormous Buffalo Sabres fans. If you can scan the audience, you'll find the brothers Buckley in that famous outdoor game, Pittsburgh and Buffalo, when Crosby scored. They had the powder balloon. It was like one of the first outdoor games. They were there.
It was actually the first. And
was it the first?
It was the first. Well, not the first, but once the first Winter Classic. Yeah, the first Winter Classic. When Crosby scored.
So I was passed out by the third.
Well, I'll tell you what. We need another Stadium Series game, like at MetLife Stadium, Giants Stadium.
Did they have one there?
I don't know if they're allowed. I don't know.
I don't know if they've ever had one there, right?
No, they've never had one there.
It was just Yankee Stadium. I think they should do it there. I think they should actually. I think it would be really great at the Red Bulls stadium. I think that would be a great venue. I always thought that'd be fantastic setup there. It's a little bit more intimate. It's not but I know NHL wants really, really huge, but maybe go out like we got a lot of lakes and stuff like that in Jersey. Go out, find some frozen lake like they did up there in Tahoe, and
How about Bud Lake? How about Bud Lake, the biggest natural lake in New Jersey? Bud Lake.
Bud Lake.
Yeah. So
Hosted by Bud Bundy.
How about Devils Rangers at Bud Lake?
Does that freeze over?
I don't know. There's probably so much antifreeze, in the lake.
There's gotta be some park.
I mean, years ago,
with a skating rink somewhere.
When I was in college, I came home the first summer out of college. I had a friend that, like when they give you a new credit card, they gave him like a gigantic credit line. And he was only 20, 21 years old. You know what he bought and maxed out his card on? A jet ski.
What?
A jet ski.
Excellent.
That's what he
bought.
Wise choice.
Yeah. Wise choice.
So I took a jet ski on Bud Lake, and then I only find out years later, you took a jet ski on Bud Lake? That's disgusting. That's polluted. Anyway.
What they should do is go to one of the parks that are right there in Jersey City and Hoboken and set up a rink, and that way you can have amazing views of the skyline across the river and everything like that. You can get the downtown, the freedom. I lived there for years. I used to watch the Macy's fireworks on the 4th of July at the end of my block. If you've ever gone around that corkscrew into the Lincoln Tunnel, I lived right on the top of that hill over there. That was my street. Because it was so easy working in Manhattan, man. The bus would come right there, so I'd just hop in and out. So
I just pinned a comment on Facebook Live. Douglas Walker writes, "Is the show over because you're talking about Bud Lake?" Let's get to YouTube Live so they don't feel neglected.
I would still say find one of those parks in Jersey City or Hoboken, right there, so you can get the nice view. Try Hoboken, like Dr. McMullen wanted. That's where he originally wanted the new stadium to be built. See if you can get a park. I know there's plenty of them right on the waterfront. Set up a rink, have the Devils and Rangers play, have the skyline in the background. Boom.
I got a good idea. I'll get to
YouTube
Live. I'm looking at the screen. But how about, since the Devils ownership group is operating Woolman Rink in Central Park?
Perfect. There you go. Done and done.
It'll be a true
I don't want an away game. I don't want an away game. Then the Rangers are at home. I want us to be home.
No, technically it has to be, because of a stupid rule or something. It has to be a Devils home game, because that's what they did for the outdoor game, because of something with MSG, a technicality, because there's what is that called? Some rights zoning. No, there was some kind of stupid technicality that you can't have a home game within 100 miles of Madison Square Garden. So in order to get by that, they called it a Devils home game at Yankee Stadium. I forgot what the rule was. Help me, social media. Help me. I remember.
Either way, what's going on to YouTube Live? Tell me,
Matthew Doherty says, we still need a 1-2 top 6 options. Besser might be worthwhile player to ask for, especially with
Hang on. 1 second, Samu. What was that word? What was that like? It was the second or third word in that statement. What was it? Can you say that again? We what?
We still need a 1-2 top.
There it is. What was the word after still? What was the word?
Need.
Oh, no, we don't. Not right now.
Not right now.
It's not a need. We don't need to make this move. Yeah, we got Alexander Holtz in the making. We got Dawson Mercer in the making. We got Graham Clark in the making. We don't need anything right now. Maybe 3 years from now, 2 years from now, where that's all it takes to put us over the edge. Then, yeah, that's what we need. Would it be nice to add Tarasenko and to get Nico that experience of having someone like that? Absolutely. But do we need to do it? No. But it sure would be nice.
Chris P writes, the Blues probably want a 2022 first round and at least a second line forward or D-man. Well, if they're going to ask for that, have fun trading Tarasenko.
Yeah.
I think it's not worth it at that point. It's not worth it. And I think the lesson learned here is keep the pipeline filled of young talent. They had to rip off the Band-Aid a couple times. And now the wound's healing with the draft picks. Luke Hughes, Dawson Mercer, Alexander Holtz. Oh, now it's healing. It's going to build that muscle. And then that's how you win your Stanley Cup. I mean, look, there are many ways to win the Stanley Cup. But you got to follow the Pittsburgh Penguins model. Tank. Get a lot of picks. Just remember, after Jaromir Jagr years ago, okay, they were in the
They were
igloo.
bad.
First overall pick, Marc-Andre Fleury, right? And they were really bad. And then could they survive in Pittsburgh? And then finally they got grandma's slot machine arm to fund the new arena that they're playing in right now. And then suddenly, mysteriously, Sidney Crosby was picked first overall. That conspiracy, and then Malkin a year later. You know, he wasn't first overall, but he was second or third. Yeah.
He was pretty high up there.
Then Jordan Stahl, you know, that they picked, and then it just kept on coming. And that was one way of doing it. The lose way is different. Lose way is, okay, we're just going to play very, very well defensively. We'll have a good fourth line, and we'll just try to out-muscle, but, we'll slow you down. That's how they won those years. And I have to admit, the clutch and grabbing was very legal. I mean, there's a lot of things back in the Devils Dynasty years you can't do now. Like Scott Stevens, open ice hits, you can't really do anymore. It's a different, it's a different league.
And those teams were, built for a different time, and
and there was no blue line.
There was, oh man, they used to have
no
the
two-line
passes.
Oh, that would interrupt the flow. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Two-line pass?
I hated that.
Like, no other league has two-line pass except for the NHL for so many years. College never had it. High school
when they made the rule changes, that's all I thought was necessary. I'm like, just get rid of the two-line pass. That's all you need to do, and like everything will be fine in the NHL. I know they changed a lot since then, but in my mind, that's all they needed to change was just get rid of that two-line pass, stoppage. That was horrible, especially like if you got a defenseman trying to pass out from behind the goal. Oh man, you get that goal line, like two-line pass, like up into the. Oh.
Well, I thought the trapezoid was stupid. That was on Bobby Clark.
Oh, the trapezoid was terrible too.
He brought it in only for one reason, because Martin Brodeur. That was the only reason, that they brought it in. It's really the Marty Brodeur rule. So,
like I said, all they needed to do was take out the two-line pass. That was the only rule they needed to change, and everything was fine. Like, in my mind, did not need all the extra stuff.
And the neutral zone trap, pretty much disappeared for the most part.
Yeah.
Because of that. Because now you can rely on that, line, the red line, to stop the two-line passes, right? So, but you know what? This is what I had a problem back then. I'll tell you. Sorry. What makes exciting hockey? Like, there are 1-0 hockey games that are so exciting. It's not about like some people are so like numbers focused, and I like the flow of the game. I like to see speed, skill. When that red line was there years ago, It's like you could have a great game. Two-line pass. Two-line pass. Two-line pass. And then a stoppage, another stoppage. And you're just like, over something. It's like a buzzkill.
The two worst rules ever in hockey are the two-line pass and then the friggin' skate in the crease. Those are the two worst rules in the history of hockey. That's all they needed to do was remove those. Done.
Remember that? The 97 Devils Rangers, that playoff series? Yep. Devils finished first in the division, and the Rangers went to the replay every single time. I think the Devils probably had 7 goals called back in the 5-game series. Like it was incredible. And I will say, and a lot of people say,
and then Hull in the finals, the opposite way.
Yeah,
his foot was in the crease, and they didn't call it.
Yeah, and Esa Tikkanen, look at the play. Esa Tikkanen, the whole Mateau thing. Look where his foot was. That's why 97 still pisses me off, because I could go back to 94, get my VCR and just pause it. And then you got to play with the tracking, because there's this scribbly line on the bottom. And you'll see Esa Tikkanen's skate in the crease. I swear to you. All right.
All right. Who else is on YouTube Live?
Thomas says, Scotty's shirt, how many times this year will you hear, Luke, I am your brother? Tommy boy.
Very nice.
Luke.
Very nice.
Luke. I am your brother.
Oh, we have to get those clips. Oh, man. Good call. Good call.
You know what we need to do with the Let's Go Devils podcast, our social media pages? We got some creative. We're just lazy. We got to start making memes. Like, I see a lot, Backhanded Devil makes great memes, and I see that the Devils' social media staff, they're putting up me. I'm like, we could do better than the Devils with memes.
Are you kidding me? Who? I thought that was Lindy Ruff, who was out there working their Twitter and Instagram doing that all the time. Are you kidding me? I thought that was the team doing that. That's right. Isn't that what happens? They pay attention to Instagram more often than practicing, right? Isn't that what is that right? It's Lindy, right? He's like, Jack, come here. How do I do that GIF over and put this over on top of here? I got to reply to this guy. Don't worry about practice. Let me do this Instagram real quick. That's what happens, right, Sam?
I follow the Devils' social media account. I have some strong opinions against it, but when they do something right, I'll give them some credit for it. It's nothing personal, but sometimes when I'm watching their social media account, I feel like an 8th grader at times. And then sometimes I want to do something to kind of not really one up, but kind of get in a Twitter war. But I realized, you know what? It's like, I'm not going to waste my time with this. But
why don't you get a Twitter war with Rangers or Islanders or Flyers? Why do you pick your own team to get into a Twitter war with?
But this is the one thing that pisses me off. They stopped it. Hopefully it's because of this podcast. The one thing that pisses me off is anytime you get a new acquisition, it's welcome to Jers. And I'm like, the person operating the account is obviously not from Jersey. Nobody says that. Only people out of state says that. A lot of employees are from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, because of the whole 76ers thing. And it's like, feed me some Scrapple. You might as well say that. But it's Taylor Ham here.
I've never seen the Scrapple mention on the Devils page.
Oh, they better not. Scrapple. If anybody knows what Scrapple is basically the New Jersey Turnpike of meats put together.
Meats.
And this is what the inbred fans down in Philadelphia eat.
Oh boy.
And kiss their sister with Scrapple. Let me know if you've heard of Scrapple. Let me
Oh,
know
boy.
if you've ever heard of Scrapple. See, can you tell it's like the off season right now? We're talking about Scrapple.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, man.
Now I bet
Anyway,
you
back
Douglas
to Bud
Walker.
Lake.
Yeah,
So
Bud Lake.
it's good to know
is
that
the
you like to
Scrapple.
pick fights. You like to pick fights with our own team instead of our rivals. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, that's because I got too much time on my hands. I mean, I don't. You know what? Maybe I should start a new hobby. Maybe flame baiting the opposing teams and their fans. Maybe they'll
What happens
yeah.
if it's like just, like some other guy that's like sitting there who's just running it, who's like Sam Wu, like your long lost, brother or something like that you never knew you had, like a twin separated at birth, and he's
He
running
writes
the
for
Devils
pucksandpitchforks.com
Oh, he writes for Pucks and Pitchforks.
and hockeybuzz.com. I've been reading. If you
All
go on
right.
there.
Who else is on the YouTube live?
First time ever going with season tickets. Steve Milwitz. Well, congratulations, Steve. That's good.
I love going to
I
games.
remember when I got for a season tickets. I'll tell you that story. I was actually in college. And
And we're moving
wound up
on
getting season
to,
It was a great feeling to go to any game you want. If you have full season tickets, any game you want.
Full season tickets?
Yeah, full season tickets, and
I
mainly did
plans.
it. Well, I mainly did it strictly because the Devils back then used to go to the Stanley Cup Finals every year. I figured it was probably more cost effective if you pay the upfront costs to get the full seasons or partial plan just to have the rights for the playoffs. Because that one year in 2000, I think I can't tell you how much I paid in Ticketmaster fees for rounds 3 and 4 in 2000. Like, it was ridiculous. It was like, I think back then, I'd like to say $13.50 a piece. I don't remember. It was a lot of money back then, especially for a college kid. Matthew Doherty writes, Scrapple is so gross. It's like leftover meat butchers can't sell it smashed into a loaf. Yeah, it's like the New Jersey Turnpike South.
There you go. Mike Rossi on Facebook Live asks us if we're going to talk about Round Valley. Yes, we can go fishing anytime you want, Mike. Get us some nice big old Jersey Deli sub sandwiches. They don't got them out here in LA. There's one shop that's close, but not quite the same. So we can go to Round Valley, go out in the boat. I once got lost in Round Valley in a fog storm in the boat. Oh, that was freaky because you could not see anything like more than 5 feet in front of you, like out there in the middle of the water. And it's just like, whoa, how are we going to get back? Douglas Walker, St. Louis is overplaying their hand. Ramona says we need a right winger. Matt, yes, Saad signed with the Avs. Omar thinks the rebuild is done. No, Omar, it is not done yet. It's never going to stop. That's the idea. This is going to be a continual pipeline of prospects coming through. That's the whole thing that we're working for here. Because let's face it, there's a salary cap. Even though it's going to increase, that's the hope here, that it does increase. But at some point, you're not going to be able to keep every single prospect that we have. There's going to be a trade made to fill in whatever hole we need. I know I've said it before that right now I'm not 100% sold on, like Mackenzie Blackwood and Bernier. Bernier is here for 2 years, right? 2 years, not 3, 2 years.
Yep.
So, is that something that happens after? Does Mackenzie Blackwood take those steps forward, become that ace that we're all hoping he can be? Or is the rest of the team ready to go and we need a goaltender?
Yeah.
Same thing up on any of the forwards, I got a good, feeling with Jackie and Nico, Jesper Bratt, Pavel Zacha, eventually, I mean, they look good to us, but eventually it's going to come down to it, are they performing like that? Jesper Boquist, Graham Clark, all these guys, like, are two of them put together to get that missing piece that we need to put us over.
Oh yeah, and we're talking about this. They're not just rebuilding a team; they're rebuilding a dynasty. When the Devils were so good, what did they have? They had depth. When one guy gets hurt, you bring somebody from Albany or Lowell, or wherever. Now Utica, not a problem. It's like next one up. And remember that term interchangeable parts that the media would use with Pandolfo and Madden or Sergei Nemchinov, guys like that, Sergei Brelin. I feel like that's what they're building right now. It's just a matter of getting it all together, organized into one system. Because last year I saw a lot of things I didn't like, but I think right now it doesn't matter what.
We all saw a lot of things we didn't like, right, Sam?
It doesn't matter what system you play as long as everybody's on board. I don't care if you play a Lindy Ruff system or you play a John Hines system. As long as everybody's, like, even the John Hines system, if the player's on board of having a different line mate every 5 seconds, so be it. As long as you're winning, that's all that matters. John Michael, YouTube Live, says, I think I'm the only Devils fan that thinks we could do better than Tarasenko. Just seems a big risk after 2 major surgeries. No, you're not the only Devils fan. I don't want Tarasenko unless we're giving up a 7th rounder and some Taylor Ham. Steve Milwitz says I don't want Tarasenko either. Matt Doherty's right. Our pro scouts also need to come through a bit. Our amateur scouts have done pretty well. Let us do better at scouting around the league. Yes, especially during this pandemic, it's kind of hard to do. It's harder. So you're going to really have to rely on your video team, all that. But I will say, though,
they found a good find with Ryan Graves there. That's not one that all of us were like pointing to. That just came out of nowhere, and we were like, "That's the perfect fit. That's exactly what we need." So
well, Scott Clemenson recommended the goalie. Scott Clemenson, former Devils goalie, recommended the goalie. What they pick, 3rd or 4th round? I forgot his name. And hey, you know what? Fitzy's, he's trusting his staff. Look, I love David Connie, and I said he's done wonderful things. Towards the end there, I think every Swede he drafted, from Larson to Tenenby to Josephson. Burke Forrest knocked out, I shouldn't even say that out loud. That's mean. But, Burke Forrest didn't work out, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, he had to
happens.
Go, but, it happens. But it seemed like he
gets another job.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had John Carlson. Thinking, and then who did he draft? Josephson or is it Tenenby? I forgot which one. And I'm thinking to myself, you got a Jersey guy plays defense, and look at what he's doing with the Washington Capitals. So that's, and I always compared New Jersey and Detroit, the dynasty years, and you can add in Colorado Avalanche. The difference between the Red Wings, I give the Ken Holland and the Red Wings the edge over Lou and the Devils in terms of dynasties in that era, is strictly because of those late round picks, Pavel Datsyuk and Henrik Zetterberg. Those were late round. And what were the Devils producing in the late round in the mid 2000s? Mike Danton, Jefferson, I don't know. And I think that was the big difference. And the Red Wings and Lidstrom were able to win cups after the rule changes in the salary cap era. So, and that was kind of what, to me, as much as I hate to say it, I would give the edge to the Red Wings. Now, Devils would be like, hey, woo, you suck. Were you old enough when 95 happened? because somebody commented that I wasn't old enough since in 95, 2000, 2003 on the YouTube Live, the one with Chico. Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Very
nice.
Like,
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually older than the Devils, and so is Scott.
Yeah,
so take that,
exactly.
YouTube Live.
So thanks. That's actually a compliment when you say that. So we appreciate that when you say that we look younger. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So wrapping up, before we wrap up, Scotty, I've been dying to use this. Can I use the emergency system? I just want to test it. Just want to test
the
it for
emergency system.
Yeah, it's gonna play a "Let's Go Devils." Hold on, it's the experiencing
sound
technical
like a good
difficulties.
idea.
Hold on a second. It'll be 2 seconds. There you go. Let me know if it worked. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. In case the stream ever goes down, or somebody, a Ranger fan cuts our internet off of our house. Hey, we have the emergency system.
I just saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? You like the graphics on that one? Yeah. See, we're upgrading. We're upgrading here, just like Tom Fitzgerald and the Devils. We're upgrading, but we're not spending too much. We're not spending too much.
We're being wise.
Yeah, we're being wise.
Another investment maybe next year or the year after that.
Yeah, like look, getting Tarasenko. I'm telling you, getting Tarasenko is like getting that private jet that we've always wanted.
It would be no. I mean, it's only 2 years. It's only 2 years. Okay, it really. I think Tarasenko would really be kind of just like, get Nico used to having that, that winger over there. Really feels like. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And by the way, I just want to give a shout to Joey Giardino, Cali Pizza Joints in LA. They are very lacking, but for me personally, the Rainbow, of course, for late nights, Vito's, North End Pizza, and then the pizzeria in Larchmont. That's the way to go. I'm over on the west side, so
yeah,
those are my actual East Coaster has approved pizzas that I actually will order from. The Rainbow's just the Rainbow. I mean, come on, it's the Rainbow. The pizza comes out, it's so insanely hot that you have to let it sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes, because if you bite into it, the sauce underneath it will burn the bejeebas out of the top of your mouth, every single time. You have to wait. It's just a rite of passage for the Rainbow Pizza. If anyone doesn't know, Rainbow is a famous rock restaurant bar on the Sunset Strip, the Whiskey, the Viper Room, the Rainbow. It's where Lemmy used to hang out all the time. He used to live across the street from it. It's it's been here forever, family run. It's a cool establishment to go to party in at least once. If you've ever seen The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie, there's a lot of scenes that filmed and a lot of stuff happened at the old Rainbow. A lot of history there. Lemmy used to hang out every single day. Ozzy, the Motley Crue boys. I cannot count how many people I've seen down there. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So anyway, final thoughts, Scotty.
Final thoughts is don't give in to the Taylor Hall trade that we had, or the Taylor Hall wonders, the Taylor Hall twinkles. Woo, we all had the twinkles in our eyes. Oh my gosh, look at this. We need to improve. Forget about the rebuild. Abandon it. We need to keep Taylor Hall happy. Taylor Hall will score and take us everywhere. Nah. Set us back.
Team sport.
It's
a team sport.
Stay the course. Our defense is insanely improved from last year. Our goaltending is insanely improved from last year. The offense, we know we have raw talent there. It's all going to come together. Don't make an unnecessary trade. It's not necessary to get Tarasenko. Don't make a necessary trade and burn some assets that we don't have to. And I have full confidence, like we were talking about, with Fitzy spending a little bit of time with Lou, a lot of time with Ray, but being able to have both of those guys and learn from both of them, I think, did wonders for him. And I think we're going to see a lot more smart and surprising moves from the Devils in the near future.
Wow. Well said. I will have to say, final thoughts. We're not done yet. It's not over. It's a process. It's a foundation that Fitzy is building.
Mm-hmm.
And just enjoy the fact that there are publications right now that are ranking the Devils on paper, their defense, pretty high in the Metropolitan Division. And don't get scared off other teams getting these flashy players. Just remember, if your defense is good enough, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter.
And say it with me one more time. Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah.
Dougie Hamilton.
Dougie Hamilton.
Not a big flashy player.
Dougie Hamilton will bring the no fun zone. No one's and turn it into a Ryan graveyard.
Ooh, yeah. I like it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You get kicked in the Kevin balls.
I wish I could say and get butchered, but he got shipped off to Buffalo.
Well, yeah, it's all right.
Can't have everything.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everybody for listening in. The podcast will be dropped. When will it be dropped? Midnight tonight on the Let's Go Devils podcast pages on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, Spotify, iHeart app, wherever you find our podcasts. Also, just in, Thursday, there will be a special State of the Fan address. Bryce Salvador is stopping in.
Ooh.
I don't know how this happened,
Right.
but Bryce Salvador is stopping in. He was just dying to come onto the podcast.
Oh, really?
There's so much. Oh, yeah. Getting Dougie Hamilton, the defense being rebuilt. He just couldn't help himself. Bryce Salvador of MSG Network's former Devils captain, good friend of the podcast. Well, Scotty, it was an enjoying evening. I hope Beer Baron has better internet. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Wow, Beer Baron. Hey, guys, you will not believe this. There's a plane that went from New Jersey to North Carolina today, and then another plane flew back. I can't. It's unreal. You gotta be kidding me, guys. That's gotta say something.
Till next time.
He's a gullible lad.
Let's go Devils.